everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to go through the top 15 eyeshadow palettes that I've gone through this year so far. This is everything up until June. So this is not including July. I'm filming this a little ahead of time, but I think by the time I post this will probably be the middle of July. So I might have had more use on these palettes by the time you see the video, but this is up until the end of June. So I wanted to keep it like, this is the first 6 months. Which palettes have I used the most? And at the end of every month, after I track what I use, I add in my spreadsheet. There's obviously tons of cars outside. Why? At the end of the month, I add in my spreadsheet which palettes I've used, so I'm tracking it that way. So it is pretty consistent and accurate in that respect. So yeah, I thought, well, I could do top 5. Top 10, but let's do top 15, right? Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna start at the bottom. So I do have 4. I have 4 at the bottom that I've used 7 times each. So the way that I track this, the 7 different days of the year I went into this eyeshadow palette, whether it was for one shade or multiple shades, whether I did multiple different eye looks that day, I only used this eyeshadow palette for that one day. I feel like my lips are peeling. I hate that when that happens. I hate when that happens. It's so gross. This is the, what am I wearing? This is actually bothering me. I'm wearing the Decay lip tint. I feel like I've never noticed it, but I feel like it's getting all goopy. I don't like that. Anyway, the first one that I've used 7 times is the Lethal Avatar Earth palette. So this one I use so much because I was trying to hit pan in this middle shade. But yeah, I used this 7 different days, and this is such a pretty palette. I probably should have used it more. Next up, we have a Cosmic Beauty. This is the 'Tis the Season. So I had this rolled into my No Pan Left Behind, and I also wanted to do a video where I track how many looks I can do, and I ended up doing 4 looks. I did use this more than 4 times, but I did 4 specific looks with just this palette, and I do have a video of that. But yeah, this one I went to 7 times in total so far this year, which I think is pretty decent. I just got this in Christmas. So for a new palette of mine, I'm glad that it got some love and some use, and I was able to use all the shades, and I kind of know this palette now. I think it's a really fun palette. For me, it's not a seasonal palette, so I was happy to prove that to myself. Next up, we have the Serenity, also from Cosmic Beauty, also used 7 times. This one, I didn't use all the shades. It's just really the one shade that I was working on, which is this shade up here. What I never remember. That one's called Oasis. So I had that rolled into my Pan Those eyeshadow, so I was able to hit pan in that. I don't think I've gone into any other shade so far. So I still would like to go into more shades in this palette, especially since there are so many interesting and beautiful shades and cool tone shades and sort of, I would say, oceany shades. So I don't know, I think it would be fun. And then the last one that I went into 7 times is actually another new one for me. I got this also in Christmas, is Bella Beauty Bar Dark Dreamscape. And I was lusting over this for as soon as I saw it launched. And I was very happy to receive it for Christmas. And I have ended up using it 7 different times. So I think that's pretty decent. I have a 3 looks 1 video with this one as well. And I could have probably done more, definitely more than 3 looks, but that's all I did for that video. And it's definitely, since it's a new palette, one that I want to go into more. I don't feel like I know this one as well as I know the 'Tis the Season. I haven't done No Pan Left Behind on this, although I have gone into, I think, all the shades at this point. It's just not as fresh in my mind maybe, but it's such a really nice, fun palette, but very dark. So it's Dark Dreamscape. What do you expect? Okay, next up we have Singe Beauty. This one I've gone into 8 different times, mostly because I have it rolled in to my, what is this rolled into? My Pan Those eyeshadows. That's what it is. I'm working on this shade. Honestly, because I'm filming this a little bit ahead of time, like a few weeks ahead of time, I don't know if I've already hit pan in this. So I might have already hit pan in this once I do my update, but maybe you're looking at something in the past, who knows? Or maybe it looks exactly the same, I don't really know. I know I've gone into this shade as well, and maybe another one, so it hasn't been completely just one shade that I've focused on, but for the most part it has. But I really like this palette. It's the only Singe Beauty one I have. It might not be the only one for long, but I'm still holding on strong before I cave and try anything else. Okay, another palette that I used 8 times this year is the Molten Metals from Gloss Gods. This one I had rolled in to my No Pan Left Behind, and I was able to hit pan in this platinum shade. I don't think I went into anything else, to be honest, so I think all the uses were to hit pan in that. Beautiful, stunning shade. It's a very, very neutral palette, obviously, but these metallics are very, very impactful. So I don't know how wearable it is if you're worried about having your eyeshadow pop too much at work. Even though it's like a neutral palette, it's a neutral palette with a pop, Everyone says with a twist these days, but that one is with a pop for sure, but very pretty quality. And then I went into my Muse from Cosmic Beauty 9 times this year so far. This one has been in a project. So again, by the time you actually see my update for this is where my pan nose eyeshadows. I'm hoping that I actually have a pan. So again, this might already have a pan in it by the time that you see this video in real life, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, I've used this palette 9 times this year. I think I did go into some other shades because I brought back my Pan Those Eyeshadows Bingo Get Ready With Me, which I will have done again for July, but that doesn't include my uses on it for now. But yeah, I'm pretty sure most of my uses went into this one, and then I did use a couple other shades for my June Pan Those Eyeshadows Bingo video, which you can go check out if you haven't. Okay, this one I've used 11 times, Desert Monsoon from What's Up Beauty. Again, I actually have 2 shades rolled into 2 different projects, so I'm pretty close to hitting pan and Joshua Tree, I'm not gonna lie. So again, this might already have a pan in it by the time you see this video, I'm not entirely sure. I'm also trying to work on Thunder. I think I've gone into a few other shades as well, but yeah, I've used this only 11 times so far this year. This one surprised me. I've also gone into the Feral quite a bit. This one I've gone into 11 times. It doesn't surprise me because I did have it rolled into, I think this was rolled into Pan in Every Palette, or was it Pan Those Eyeshadows? It might have been, it was one of those. I can't quite remember at this point, but I actually haven't really gone into anything else, I don't think. So it was all on this one, and I had the ittiest bittiest tiny pan in that one. But the more I look at it, I've always thought this was not a very fun color story, but I actually really like this color story now, the more that I look at it. And I think I need to spend more time playing around with this one, especially since it's a palette that is getting older for me, and I'm like sweating. I'm so sorry. It's hot. I need to go into this a little bit more. We do not have AC in Europe, you know, so for all of my US viewers, you know, we have to just take the heat as it comes. I do have a fan on, but it is not strong enough. It is not strong enough. Okay, next up I have Makeup Revolution Astronova. This is also rolled in to a project. This one I've used 12 times this year, and it is this one that I've been working on. And I think just like the other Pan Those Eyeshadows palette, the Muse one, I did go into a few other shades in this palette for a Get Ready With Me, but most of my uses have been to go into Milky Way. And I do have a pan, so that is not a spoiler because you would have already seen that. And actually at the point that you see this video, this is no longer going to be in my Pan Those Eyeshadows. But I've used it quite a lot this year, which I'm pretty pleased about. Okay, next up I have a palette that I've used 13 times, and this is the Lovers from Cosmic Beauty. I am working on hitting pan in this Connection shade. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It is the shade of the year for me, for sure. It is so stunning. I think definitely by the time that you see this, I would have used it more, but by the end of June, I've only gone into this palette 13 times, which is fine. You know, it's a good palette to go into. It's a palette that I have not loved, but I'm appreciating more and more every time I go into it. So I do like that aspect of it. I also did a channel members video a few months ago where because I don't prefer teal. I don't really like wearing teal on my eyes. So I remember I did a teal look with this palette, trying to force myself to like teal. So I know I use this palette more than just to go into this shade. But yeah, I can't remember what other shades I've gone into at this point. Next up, I've gone into the ABH Nouveau palette 15 times this year. This one is because I was working on this shade right here, which is called Liberty. It was in my Pan Those eyeshadows and I was able to hit pan, but I don't think I went into anything else. I think I only went into this shade. So as much as this is like obviously quite a used palette for this year, I think unlike other palettes that I've spoken about where I've gone into multiple shades, when it's one like this and I've just gone into the one shade, it kind of doesn't make me feel that great because I'm still neglecting everything else. But regardless, I've gone into it that many times, which is pretty much a lot. I mean, I only have 3 palettes left, so that's in 4th place. So in 3rd place, we have my Pan That palette in order, which is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. This one I've gone into 22 times by the end of June. Would have gone into it more by the time you see this video. I'm really hoping I actually have a pan by the time you see this video. So right now I do not have a pan. It is the 5th of July. I'll just let you know right now. It's the 5th of July as I'm filming this, so you can gauge like where I am. But yeah, I'm working on this because obviously I've hit pan in Cosmic. Most of my uses this year have been in Cosmic, but I've put a lot of use in this shade as well called Utopia. I think I have 12 uses in this one and then the rest are in this one. So there's quite a lot. And obviously I don't think I've gone into anything else. Maybe Libra, because I do like Libra. So I might have gone into Libra maybe once. But yeah, this one has had a lot of use and I'm really happy about that because it's a palette that I've loved in my collection. I always wanted to put it into a project. It was never rolled in, it wasn't voted, so I was just like, fine, I'll do it myself. So it's working out for me. Next up, we have in 2nd place, The Color of Rain from Gloss Gods. This is, as you have been following me, has been in my project level up, my level 5, and I've been getting a lot of use on this. Not only the pans, but also just using every single shade 5 times has taken me quite a long time. I've gone into this palette 24 different days this year, which is almost a month. Almost a month I've been working on this in an entirety. But yeah, I think it just goes to show some of these projects take time, you know, and I space it out over time. So that's why it's taken so long for level 5, because I'm not going into it every single day. If I did, it would take me about a month, right? And so I figured that out. But yeah, I don't know where I am by the time you see this video, so I'm just going to put it out there. But this one I have ended up going into a lot. And then I'm pleased about this one. The last one is my Pan That palette for the year. So I was hoping this was going to be the one that I've used the most. And I actually have ended up using this 43 times. I have said all year, every single month when I roll up and I do my Pan That palette update, I always feel like I'm not using this enough, but I have used it 43 times, like 43 different days. It's not nearly as much as last year when I was working on those other palettes, but I think for this type of palette, there are so many different shades. The color story is completely different to what I had last year. I think it's decent, right? So this is the Flower Moon. And yeah, I would have already done my Pan That palette update. So I don't know if this will look different to how it looks by the time you would have seen that update. I'm hoping that this actually has maybe one less pan. I'm hoping I have a pan before. So yeah, this might look a bit different, I don't know. But obviously, yeah, I'm filming ahead of time and I've ended up, yeah, going into this 43 times. I did check. This is the shade that I've gone into the most, which is a very boring shade. It's called Renew and I've gone into that 14 different days. But yeah, that's the one I've used the most out of this palette, even though it doesn't even have a dip. So I don't know. I don't think I'll hit pan in any of these mattes, to be honest, by the end of the year. I was thinking maybe Meadow, but I really don't know. So it doesn't matter. If I hit pan in all the shimmers, I think I'll be happy with that. So that's my goal. And yeah, that is everything. Those are all of the eyeshadow palettes that I've used the most so far in 2026. Up until June. So I've already done a pretty good, I know it's only the 5th of July, but I've actually used quite a lot of these already in the last 5 days. So it's definitely going to be interesting how this looks by the end of the year. I'm going to definitely do another video of this and just to look at which palettes I've used the most in the year. I think it'll be interesting because when there's palettes that are not rolled into projects and if they make it high up, that's going to make me happy. Like the Dark Dreamscape, I have not had rolled into a project not even like no pan left behind or anything. Yes, I did do a specific video where I did 3 looks with it, but I wanted to do that. And I ended up obviously having that in my top 15. I think maybe there's 1 or 2, or maybe everything else was in a project. Yeah, maybe everything else was in the project, so that's the only one. But still, I would love to see more of my newer palettes make it in to the top. Obviously, my project level ups, my pan lap palettes, they're gonna be, even my no pan left behinds, I mean, to be fair, they're always gonna hover, aren't they? And my palette, yeah, I mean, I think it'll be tricky. Maybe I can do my top 20 by the end of the year. Maybe that will be a little bit more fair, just so we can have a little bit of flavor and something different to look at. Okay, so I'm melting away. It is very, very hot. I am filming this late in the afternoon. I'm just trying to find time to film when I can, but hopefully you're all doing well and you're enjoying the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another one very soon. Bye.